specific objective. We will be verifying, extending, creating, attaching, and detaching EPS volume. So below we have the architectural design for what we're going to achieve today, and I'll just give you a little briefing on this lab, and with the architectural structure we'll be able to achieve our set goal. First of all, we can see the environment we are working on, which is the AWS cloud. In the cloud we have the region where we are hosting our server. In the region we have the zone, and within the zone we have the subnet, and also we have our instance. We serve as our server. For every instance there's a root volume of, depending on the operating system, which is the ANR. For Windows it is 30 gig, but in this case we are going to modify 30 gig to 32 gig and then attach a new EPS volume to this instance. So this is just creating larger capacity and volume for our instance. So we are going to start off by going to the AWS console. I'll click on the EC2 and I'll click on launch instance. On this page it's more like a template. You have to feed in all the necessary information to create your server. So I'll be giving a name to this particular now, which is Windows 10. Move down. I will select my operating system as Windows operating system. I'll come down to the ANI, which is Amazon mentioned image. I'll be using the 2022 date version. And now the instance type here, I'll be using T2 micro. So moving down to the key pair, we'll need the key pair to connect remotely the virtual machine. So I'm going to either create or select existing. So I'll be selecting existing. Creating is pretty much simple. All you have to do is to click create, and then the test file will be downloaded. So now there's an important section here, which is the network setting. I'll be editing the network setting, and then the VPC here, I'll have to use the default VPC. The subnets, which has the available zones, I'm going to select. So we have two zones here. I'm going to select the US East 1A as the zone where I am launching my server. The public IP is enabled. I have to go down to the security group. Here I'm creating a new security group, or I can use an existing, but on the new security group I can give it a name. So let me give this Windows AB. You can choose to give it any name of your choice. So we move down a little. You can see the inbound security group role. By default we have the RDP, which is remote desktop protocol. So that is here by default to every Windows is the default security rule. Now, because I am connecting this online, I will add an additional security group, which will be HTTP. Select a source type as anywhere. I will go down a little and add another security group, and now the HTTPS source anywhere. So the security group is to convert our server into a web server. It will be accessible through the web or open to a third party, converting it from a private to public. So now when we go down a little, we can see the volume here and the root volume, which is by default 30 gig. So at this point, every single step of creating a server has been assured. This is a brief summary of all the steps we took, and I'll click on launch. So the server is configured and is initializing. So it's successful, which you can see. I'll click on the instance ID. This brings me to the table where I can see a nice summary of the instance, and I want you to see the instance state is running. So that means our server is running, and the other parameter we need to look at is check status. At this point, we are going to wait for an update. So I just have to refresh it maybe every 30 seconds to confirm the status update. You can see the status has updated as 2/2 check pass. So now we proceed to our storage, and let us take a careful look at what we have done. So we can see the volume here is 30, but what we want to achieve is modifying the volume not as 30 but adding 2 additional gig to make it 32. So I'll click on this volume, I'll select my volume, I'll come to the action, and I can see modify. So that simply means I'll be changing my 30 to 32. Then click on this 32 gig and I click on modify. So eventually I'll have to refresh, and we can confirm that we have achieved the first set, which is 32 gig. The next thing we want to achieve is the additional 2 gig. So I'll click on create a new, going to our structure. We have been able to achieve this instance. We have achieved this 32 gig. So we are going to look at adding a new volume of 2 gig. So now on this, I'm going to change this to 2 gig. Everything remains as the same. I click on create. So I've successfully created the 2 gig. So what I'm going to do right now is to click on volume to refresh my volume table, and we can see here we have 32 and 2 gig. Just move to the right and we can see one is in use and the other one is available. So the next step we are going to take is to attach the available, assign it to the instance. So I'll come here, click on action, and I'll click on attach. So now I'll have to link it up with the instance that is running. I'll select the device name, scroll down, and I'll click on attach. So this is done successfully. So we'll take a careful look. We can tell that both of them they are in use. So going back to our architectural structure, we can see we have successfully achieved this task. So at this point we can end the process. However, we can proceed to creating a virtual machine and then update the 32 gig and the 2 gig on the drive. So we proceed from here. We go back to the instance, and this is it. We click on connect. Right here we click on the RDP. We click on the download remote desktop file. It has downloaded. We move down to get password, and we have to upload the password that we selected. At this point we have to decrypt it and copy the password. We go straight to the downloaded remote desktop file. We can connect. We paste our password. Yes. At this point, the virtual machine is initializing. This is beautiful. So now the next thing is we need to manage the disk. So I'll have to type disk manage. So we can do this. So it gives us disk management interface. We can see our 32 gig, which is 30 already assigned, and 2 which we modified it to is not. So what I'm going to do is just to right click on new simple volume, next, finish. So I've assigned it because it's heavy. We come to the extra tool which we added, so I'll have to right click, make it go online, initialize the disk. Now you can see it's online, and do the same thing to allocate this. So you can see it's healthy, it's allocated. At this point we have successfully achieved our task. I just click on this to go to the C drive, and let's see what we have achieved. So we can see the 30, the 2, and the 2. Thank you so much. Just once more, we have successfully achieved the goal, which is verifying, extending, creating, attaching and detaching EBS volume. So detaching the EBS volume, I will have to go back to the instance, click on the instance. Now we're looking at the volume, go straight to the volume. The two extra, we can select it, we can click on detach. So when we detach, we refresh, it should be available. It's available, that simply means it is not used and it will not be seen on the virtual machine. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy the session and the steps. With the architectural design, you can easily create any product or service on AWS cloud. Thanks.